Che Guevara, known primarily as a revolutionary figure, also had a deep appreciation for poetry and wrote some himself. He considered poetry a private affair and did not count himself as a writer, viewing the title of writer as sacred. Despite this, Guevara wrote poetry alongside his more well-known diaries, books, essays, letters and speeches. Guevara's interest in poetry was evident in his personal life and relationships. He and his first wife, Hilda Gadea, shared an interest in poetry, particularly enjoying works by Rudyard Kipling and Uruguayan feminist poet Juana de Ibarbourou. Before his final campaign in Bolivia, Guevara made a tape recording of poems for his second wife, Aleida March, which included works by Pablo Neruda, Nicolás Guillén, and Rubén Martinez Villena. Guevara's personal notebook, discovered after his death, contained a collection of his favorite poetry, written in his own hand. This anthology included 69 poems from renowned poets such as Pablo Neruda, Nicolás Guillén, and César Vallejo. The notebook reveals a more intimate side of Guevara, showcasing his appreciation for both politically charged and emotionally resonant poetry. While Guevara referred to himself as a failed would-be poet in a letter to Leon Felipe, his engagement with poetry throughout his life demonstrates its significance to him both personally and in the context of revolutionary struggle. Che Guevara's engagement with poetry was more focused on reading and appreciating poetry rather than writing his own. However, we can glean some insights into the themes he was drawn to. 1. Revolutionary struggle and heroism. Guevara appreciated poems that evoke themes of perseverance, stoicism, and heroism in the face of adversity. He was particularly fond of Leon Felipe's El Ciervo, the Stag, which depicts a man persecuted throughout history. 2. Love and romance. Before his final campaign in Bolivia, Guevara made a recording of love poems for his wife, including Pablo Neruda's 20 Poems of Love and a Song of Despair. 3. Social justice and anti-imperialism. As a committed Marxist, Guevara was drawn to politically charged poetry that addressed themes of social inequality and resistance against oppression. 4. Nature and existential reflections. Some of the poems in his personal notebook included contemplative verses about nature and human existence. 5. Sacrifice and mortality. In one of his own poems, Guevara wrote, "We shall have victory or shoot past death," reflecting on the potential sacrifice required for revolutionary causes. While Guevara considered himself a failed would-be poet, his appreciation for poetry spanned a wide range of themes, from the personal and romantic to the political and revolutionary. His green notebook, discovered after his death, contained a carefully curated selection of poems that reflected these diverse interests and his revolutionary ideals. Che Guevara's poetry and his appreciation for poetry reflected his revolutionary ideals and views on social justice in several ways. 1. Themes of struggle and resistance. Guevara was drawn to poems that depicted perseverance and heroism in the face of adversity, such as Leon Felipe's El Ciervo, the Stag, which portrays a man persecuted throughout history. 2. Revolutionary spirit. His famous quote, "If you tremble with indignation at every injustice, then you are a comrade of mine," encapsulates his passion for social justice and fighting against oppression. 3. Love as a revolutionary force. Guevara believed that true revolutionaries are guided by great feelings of love, seeing it as a driving force for social change and compassion for humanity. 4. Sacrifice for ideals. In one of his own poems, Guevara wrote, "We shall have victory or shoot past death," reflecting his willingness to sacrifice for revolutionary causes. 5. Inspiration from other poets. He appreciated politically charged poetry addressing social inequality, as evidenced by his fondness for poets like Pablo Neruda and Nicolás Guillén. While Guevara considered himself a failed would-be poet, his engagement with poetry consistently aligned with his revolutionary ideals and commitment to social justice. Che Guevara's favorite poets and his broader cultural interests were closely intertwined. reflecting his intellectual curiosity and revolutionary ideals. 1. Diverse literary tastes. Guevara appreciated poets from various backgrounds, including Pablo Neruda, Cesar Vallejo, Nicolás Guillén, and Walt Whitman. This eclectic selection mirrors his wide-ranging intellectual interests, which span philosophy, history, and political science. 2. Latin American focus. His fondness for Latin American poets like Neruda, Vallejo, and Guillén reflects his deep connection to the region's culture and revolutionary spirit. 3. Romantic and revolutionary themes. Guevara's appreciation for poets who address themes of love, e.g., Neruda's 20 Poems of Love, and social justice aligns with his belief that revolutionaries are guided by great feelings of love and compassion for humanity. 4. Philosophical depth. His interest in poets like Walt Whitman and John Keats indicates an appreciation for philosophical and existential themes, complementing his broader intellectual pursuits. 5. Multilingual engagement. Guevara's appreciation for poets writing in Spanish and English demonstrates his international outlook and linguistic abilities. 6th, blend of classic and contemporary. His tastes range from romantic poets like Keats to more modern voices like Neruda, mirroring his interest in both historical and contemporary ideas. 7. Emphasis on perseverance. His fondness for Rudyard Kipling's If aligns with his admiration for stoicism and heroism in the face of adversity. Guevara's poetic interests thus reflected his multifaceted personality, a revolutionary with a deep appreciation for culture, philosophy, and the human experience.